Hello, I'm just giving a very casual sort of update on my carnivore experience. I am not quite 8 months in. I recently did a long form video of my 7 months experience. If anyone is interested in looking at that, I'll put it in the details of this video, the link there. But I just wanted to give kind of an update of where I'm at right now. And one of the things that I brought up in my last video is kind of the way that I've been playing around with macros since I kind of got past the height of the fat adaptation phase. And once things sort of like started feeling a little more streamlined, so I started the carnivore diet mid-August 2025, and around like November I started playing around with my macros and upping my protein a bit, dialing back on the fat, not pouring all the rendered fat over everything, dialing back the butter a bit, but still eating a decent amount of fat, and like really kind of upping my protein. But I found that as I was upping my protein, I was like not feeling as satisfied. I started noticing I was getting hangry. And then unfortunately, as time went on, probably like into January, which I was also experimenting with some fasting as well, so that's part of it, I definitely leaned out quite a bit. But then I was dealing with more PMS, irritability, again, the hangry feeling, and not really loving that, and just kind of like the food noise. Like I was just constantly thinking about like when I was going to eat again, which is it kind of like made the amount of protein intake worse, because it was like I just wanted to eat more, and I was eating more protein, not getting into ketosis, and knew I needed to make a shift. So I can't even remember exactly when I decided to change things, like maybe sometime in February, but I started shifting my macros, increasing my fat, dialing down my protein, and really in the last month I've committed to like a solid 80-20 ratio, really upping, doing at least a stick of butter a day, dial down my protein to about 110 grams a day, which is still, I tried to lower it to kind of like my 0.8, about 100 grams of protein would be 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. So it was like sufficient for lifting and all of that. Well, I definitely noticed like a little mini adaptation phase in getting into ketosis. Definitely saw a decrease in my performance at the gym, although over, after about a couple weeks of doing this, my performance started going up again. So I think there was just like that adaptation phase and adjusting to being in a deeper state of ketosis, being in ketosis like during my workouts and all of that. So there was definitely that experience in the first couple weeks. But I don't feel like I've lost any strength. Like I feel like the protein has been at an okay level as far as that's concerned. But I started running into issues with satiety and like the butter. Like I just found myself eating more butter. I was trying to do trimmings, getting beef trimmings from my butcher, and consuming all the rendered fat, but I just again was kind of like doing the food seeking thing. Like I was never feeling fully satiated, in a different kind of way from when I was higher protein, low fat, but I was feeling like I could go longer. Like my mood stayed steady. So even though I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat a little more butter, like going a little overboard with the fat, my moods were feeling better, and my irritability before my period's gone away, and definitely not getting the hangry feeling, so it's just a lot more steady, stable moods. Sleep is a little, I don't know, I'm struggling. I don't really quite know what to do about the sleep. You know, I've been doing magnesium and making sure my electrolytes are good. And, you know, trying to eat close enough to bed so I can, you know, keep my blood sugar steady in the night, but not be too full. You know, I've been doing all the things. But the reality is even though I am still kind of waking at like 2 or 3 a.m., I actually feel pretty good when I wake up in the morning, and I've had stable, steady energy through the day. So I don't really know what to make of all of that. But, so those are kind of like the, you know, pros, and I guess the sleep part is not so much a pro, but I am feeling, you know, enough energy, which is good. But some of one of the major downsides is I've put on probably 5 pounds in this time. And so I'm not overweight by any means. I was, like I said, getting pretty lean, like leaned out with upping the protein and lowering the fat. But, you know, it just doing that was not worth, you know, being able to be lean was not worth the feelings I was having. I was not willing to sacrifice my peace, right? I mentioned that in another video. But I'm at a place now where I'm starting to feel that, and it's not because of the number on the scale or even, you know, the way that I look, but it's just sort of this feeling of like, I'm satiated between meals. And in the last week or so, I've just been, you know, not trying to swing into like one extreme to the other. And I've just been making subtle adjustments. So I've upped my, my protein back up to about 120 to 130 a day. And then I've dialed back my fat slightly, like, you know, like I'm not doing the full stick of butter. So, you know, I am doing all the rendered fats on my food. But then I'm only, you know, I'm not adding as much butter to my decaf. I'm not really feeling the need to have the butter in between meals. So this is like kind of the intuitive component. It's like my body's gotten to this level of like, where it's taking a little bit of a breath, right? Like my hormones are feeling more balanced, and I'm feeling more steady, feeling satiated. And, you know, I don't feel this like, where's my next meal coming from kind of freak out if like, you know, I've digested my food. So I've kind of naturally gotten to this place after having upped the fat where I'm feeling naturally ready to make those shifts. So now I'm at about, you know, if I'm kind of going over my macros, because I have been doing a degree of tracking and kind of figuring this out. And so I'm kind of landing somewhere between 70 and 75% fat. And whatever that is, 25 to 30% protein. And I'm staying in ketosis to a degree. Like it's not as high of a level, but it is, you know, like my morning ketones are at about, you know, between 0.6 and 0.9. And then my blood sugar is like in the mid 70s every morning. So I'm doing that, you know, probably 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning, depending on when I am trying to like do it right when I wake up in the morning. And those are my numbers. And then I test in the afternoon, and my levels are over 1.0. And so I'm feeling like I'm in a good steady state of nutritional ketosis, not getting too high, and getting that protein that I need, with enough fat, but I'm not feeling unsatisfied from any macronutrient. So I sort of feel like I'm finding my sweet spot, which is really cool. So with that said, I want to keep everyone updated on just kind of what my next 8 weeks looks like in being able to perform in the gym maybe drop a little bit of body fat, but feel good and not feel like I'm forcing anything. So I want to play around with that. So I just wanted to share. I hope this could be helpful to some. And, to just be playing around and just really tuning in and to be measuring. So I have a Keto Mojo, and, seeing what level of ketosis really works for you and figuring out where that sweet spot is and not overshooting protein to where it's kicking you out of ketosis. Because I'm learning that is a significant piece when it comes to your peace, when it comes to the hormonal balance, when it comes to moods and all of that, is to be in at least some level of ketosis. So I feel like a lot of people in the carnivore space aren't always putting emphasis on measuring and just like assuming that you are. But if your protein is too high, there's a chance you're not. So, so I'm looking forward to keeping you updated on my progress. And don't hesitate to say hi in the comments, ask any questions, let me know what's working for you. If there's anything that I've said where you're like, girl, you got to do this, let me know. I'm always open to the suggestions and the help. But definitely like this video if you found it valuable, if it resonated with you, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Okay, we'll talk soon.